water in the eaves can get the water where it needs to go for attic fires. The most recent attic fire testing we did, this was a big deal because this wasn't something we saw once. This was something we saw over and over again. And when you actually break it down, it starts to make some pretty good sense. So you get fire in an attic space. Let's say it vents through the roof. You now have fire through the roof of the attic space. Typically, you might go underneath it, start trying to shoot some water up. You might go in the gable, start shooting some water into the gable. If you look at how the roof's constructed, and you get your rafters, which have a thickness to them, and you start trying to flow water sideways anywhere in that attic space, as soon as your stream hits the side of that rafter, you essentially create a fan of water that drops right straight back down. So as you shoot it in the gable and you hit it, you can try and change the angle, but no matter how you change the angle, you might only hit like one more rafter in, and you can't penetrate into the attic space. Even if you get up on a ladder in the gable end, you're still limited with where your water can go. And the number one contributor to the attic fire is the burning sheathing that's essentially wrapping, it's like lining a room with wood. That's what's really driving that attic fire. So you need to figure out how to get water on that sheathing. Take a look at this. We tried the gable attack. We hit it in here and we put out about that much fire because that's the only surface we could hit. All of this is still burning. The fire is going to start spreading back to this side. We went through, we pulled all the soffits, and now we're going to go ahead and throw some water into the eaves and watch what happens when you wet most of the fuel that's burning in that attic space. The water rides up in between the rafters and rides right back down the other side, wetting essentially most of the burning fuel. Now, it might not necessarily be practical to do this on every fire. However, if it's a tool in your toolbox, might be a case where it works. I've got a hand line with a combination nozzle flowing 150 gallons a minute on a on a straight stream. There's a 4x4 hole burnt in the back of that attic. There's a little bit of fire burning on the outside. I knocked that down real quick. Essentially, we took a mostly fully involved attic space, put about 100 gallons of water where it needed to go. That fire is essentially out. We went in, we opened up the ceiling, did a little bit of overhaul for a little bit of smoldering spots. But when you put the water on the fuel that's burning, good things start to happen. Let's say you can't get to the attics. Say it's a two-story fire. Fire in the attic, two-story house, you can't get to the eaves. You might want to start thinking about if you can get to the front wall or the back wall, and you can start hooking your way across, and you can get water onto what's actually burning, you're going to be much more effective in that attic fire. Does it work every time? Depends on the configuration and the structure. Is it plan A? Should you not do a search because you're doing this? If your guys are trained on it, can they actually do it pretty quick? I'd bet they could.